Welcome to another episode of the Jampack Report, today for Monday, December the 7th of 2020. And of course, this is a daily gaming news podcast bringing you all of the news you need to know from around the industry. So if you enjoy the show and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and keep coming back for more. But later this week, the Game Awards are going to be streamed live, and of course it has evolved over the years from just an award show to this giant E3-esque presentation, and it looks like Microsoft is going to have something to show for it. That is according to prominent games journalist Jeff Grubb, who made the claim during a GamesBeat video stream on Friday, but did not share further details on what it could entail. Microsoft has shown that historically it is willing to reserve its highest tier announcements for the award show, such as last year's Xbox Series X console reveal. 2020's The Game Awards will be streamed live on Thursday, December the 10th from 3:30 Pacific Time, 6:30 Eastern Time, and 11:30 Greenwich Mean Time, and feature new trailers, game demos, and announcements, according to its organizer Jeff Keighley. Microsoft itself has hinted that it could participate in the show's announcements by prominently tweeting to its fans to tune into the show on December the 10th. It also concluded December's Game Pass update with, quote, "See you at the Game Awards, friends." One game that will reportedly not appear is Halo. 343 Industries has told fans last month that Halo Infinite won't be shown at the Game Awards. However, the studio said it was hoping to provide a high-level update on the delayed game in the coming weeks before restarting the journey to release with fans again next year. On Friday, organizer Jeff Keighley confirmed that EA will premiere a new look at BioWare's Dragon Age 4 during the Game Awards. Due to the pandemic, this year's show will not be filmed in front of a live audience, although it will feature world premieres, musical performances, and guests. For the first time, the show will expand beyond Los Angeles, with this year's edition set to be streamed from studios in London and Tokyo, in addition to California. The event will also take place slightly earlier than normal to accommodate a global audience. Previously, European viewers looking to watch the show live have had to stay up until the early morning. Quote, "I think the big opportunity that it presents to us is being a little bit more global in our rollout of the show. So normally the world comes to Los Angeles for the Game Awards physical event, and now we are really taking the show to the world and being able to connect with more people in more places," Keighley told The Hollywood Reporter in September. The journalist and producer has already had a test run with a digital format via August Gamescom Opening Night Live, and the Game Awards is set to introduce means for its audience to interact via social media and in-game experiences, he said. Very excited about this year's show from a production standpoint, because this is, as we all know, a year that has been unlike any other, and there's a lot riding on the Game Awards to kind of bring back that feeling that E3 would normally bring, and for the past few years it really has achieved that, especially with Microsoft's announcement of the Xbox Series X during last year's show. That kind of raised the bar for what people can expect from the Game Awards. Now, will you be seeing any kind of console reveals tomorrow? More than likely not, but there's always the possibility, and I think it's that excitement that brings a new life to the Game Awards. And I was listening to a podcast recently featuring Jeff Keighley, and he discussed his history in the gaming industry and how he started off, and how throughout the years as these award shows have come and gone, you see this iterative process begin to take place where you do something, the audience responds. They say negative things, you break those comments into the way that you plan for the next year, and you improve time and time again. And so now, after decades of shows essentially, you have what is the Game Awards, where it is this high production, very high quality, performance ridden, it's really impressive, is what I'm trying to say. And so I'm looking forward to seeing this year's show. And of course, one of the biggest elements for me is the fact that it is not going to be streamed late at night. If anybody knows me, I'm kind of a grandpa. Like, I go to bed at around 9:30. I get up at like 5 to do this show and to do other things before I go to work. I enjoy that kind of routine. And so the Game Awards has always been just a thorn in my side when it comes to the time that I have to watch it, because generally they come on later at night. It can be a 3-hour show. It'll be midnight or 1 a.m. before I wrap that up. Again, that is not late by any stretch of the imagination, but it's late for Grandpa Sam, so you gotta bear with me. Now, when it comes to the actual news story here, what is Microsoft going to show? Really, there are so many options on the table that you can't narrow it down to a single thing. It could be a new studio acquisition. It could be a look at something they've been working on behind the scenes. It could be something from their smaller studios within the Xbox Game Studios brand outside of Halo Infinite. There are so many things to show off that it really does just leave this plethora of opportunities on the table. But I'm very excited because Microsoft has been very, very diligent in planning and deliberate in the steps they are taking to improve their marketing and to improve their messaging. And you see that with the success of the Xbox Series X. Now, of course, it is still facing that uphill battle with PlayStation that many people knew they would face going into this generation, because the PlayStation 4, quite frankly, was just so successful and the Xbox One was just not it, Chief. You see what I did there with Master Chief? That was good, right? And so whenever you look at this messaging and you look at this kind of face saving that they're trying to do, you see the need for big announcements. You see the need for a huge presence at one of these shows. And now you have the Game Awards kind of providing that. Now I'm loving my Xbox Series X and I cannot wait to see what kind of experiences are coming my way. But if you want to tune in, again, the Game Awards is coming on December the 10th from 3:30 Pacific Time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and 11:30 Greenwich Mean Time if you do want to tune in. Now moving on to Sony news, at least Sony film news in a way, Oscar Isaac is going to star as Solid Snake in the Metal Gear Solid film. That is according to a Deadline report and confirmed by The Hollywood Reporter, stating that Isaac will star in the film based on the Metal Gear Solid video game series from Konami. Isaac is known for starring in films such as Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker and others in the series as Poe Dameron. He also starred in Life Itself, The Letter Room, and will play as Duke Leto. Atreides? Sure, why not? In the upcoming Dune movie. I haven't read Doom, I haven't watched the Doom film. It's on my list. Okay, I'm going to get to it. The movie was first announced 8 years ago, of course that being the Metal Gear Solid movie, with news the following year stating it was still 3 years out. In 2018, it was reported that Jordan Vogt-Roberts, You're the Worts, Kong Skull Island, and The Kings of Summer of Fame was on board to direct. The script is penned by Derek Connolly and Evie Arid. I'm massacring these names and I apologize. Producing, and Peter King as the executive. A production start date is still unknown. So, this is, of course, another Sony Pictures film, and this is the same company that is working on the Uncharted film with Tom Holland and with Marky Mark. The name escapes. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. You know who I'm talking about. Yes, that's how I know him. Matt Damon. There we go. Regardless. Is that Matt Damon? Yeah, it's Matt Damon. Yeah, hold on. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Give me that Matt Damon. Mark Wahlberg, jeez. Oh man, glad I looked that one up. Anyways, yeah, Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, that didn't make any sense because I was like Marky Mark. It's not Matty Matt. This is not that podcast. Regardless, this is a Sony Pictures project, and so they're working on the Uncharted movie right now. It's yet to be seen where this Metal Gear Solid is in production, but the question is, will it be good? Will this actually be a movie that people want to see? It could be, because Metal Gear is such a cinematic experience already that it kind of lends itself to a more natural transition into the world of film as compared to another kind of game. Like, you could never really make a Call of Duty film. It would basically just be Extraction on Netflix, and that would be your Call of Duty film. But for Metal Gear, it is, again, so cinematic. The characters are so deep. You have so much you can do with it. My only worry is that they make it too weird. And then my only worry for the hardcore fans is that they make it too normal. I think that's kind of the balance to hit, because Konami and Kojima made some weird stuff with Metal Gear. And so you get to see the fruits of those labors in this new Metal Gear Solid film. But Oscar Isaac, fantastic choice. Very much so has the jawline, has that kind of mystique that you need for a really good Solid Snake. Now finally, to round out today's show, Neil Druckmann has become co-president of Naughty Dog. The Last of Us Part 2 director Neil Druckmann has been promoted to co-president of Naughty Dog. Current president Evan Wells announced the news today on the company's blog. The promotion came during an all-studio meeting where Director of Operations Allison Mori and Co-Director of Programming Christian Geierling were also promoted to Vice Presidents. Druckmann began his career as an intern at Naughty Dog in 2004. His first major credit was working as a programmer for Jak 3 and Jak X Combat Racing before helping design the first 2 Uncharted games. His major claim to fame came as the writer and co-creative director for the critically acclaimed Last of Us alongside Bruce Straley. The pair would later direct the well-received Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, which Druckmann also co-wrote. Druckmann then led the development for The Last of Us Part 2, helping write the story alongside Haley Gross. The sequel released in June to widespread acclaim, including a 10 out of 10 from Game Informer. But beyond games, Druckmann is also working with HBO to develop a TV series based on The Last of Us. And The Last of Us Part 2 is currently in the running for Game of the Year at this year's Game Awards. Very impressive career from Neil Druckmann, and I think that what this shows is that anything is possible with hard work, with drive, and with passion, and with talent. And you start as an intern in 2004, and you evolve, and 16 years later you become co-president of the company. That is amazing. And I mean, regardless of how you feel about Naughty Dog or The Last of Us or Uncharted, it has to be admired that this has been achieved. Now, personally, I adore the Uncharted games, The Last of Us. I grew up thriving on Jak X Combat Racing, Jak 3, Jak 2, Jak and the Precursor Legacy. There are so many good Naughty Dog games, and he's been behind so many of them. And so when it comes to what I think of when I think of anybody that deserves to be promoted to some kind of presidential position in the gaming industry, Neil Druckmann is one of the first that comes to mind. So congratulations to Neil, and a very good future for you, my friend. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jampack Report. If you enjoyed today's show, drop me a like down below and let me know what you think about everything we talked about here today, but specifically, what do you think Xbox is going to show off at the Game Awards this week? Do you think it's a new game? Do you think it's some footage of something already announced? Or do you think it's going to be a new studio acquisition? Perhaps even something else? Would love to hear what you have to say. But until tomorrow, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon, and peace.